Good morning, YouTube. This is Johnny. I thought I'd make a quick video on a Monday morning here in West Michigan. It is June the 29th, 2020. It is 10:37 in the morning. The troops have left the house to go to a park. Hannah, Emily, and Carol took the kids, and also Josiah. I think Caleb is working today, our oldest son down the street. And I have been enjoying the quiet. It is not going to last long, so I thought I'd just stop by and say hi. This is a new week. This is a Monday. And this morning I have been reading, once again, the book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. I have two editions. This is the one I've had the longest. This is by Penguin. This one came out in 2003. And this one came out just, I think last year or a year before. It came out by New Directions, 2017. This is the book Disquiet, a complete edition by Fernando Pessoa, translated from the Portuguese by Margaret, Jull, Costa. This one is translated and edited by Richard Zenith. Now, I personally prefer this edition over this edition. I don't know. I remember when I read this edition, and then when I read this edition, I remember I found this one more poetic. The selections. Now, if you don't know the background to the book Disquiet, if you look at it, it's just these paragraphs, like 241, 242, 243, and they were like, from what my memory tells me, that after he died, Pessoa, they found his writings, but they were not in some kind of order. Maybe there were some dates on them, I don't remember. So it was up to the editors and translators to put them in a certain order by number. And I found the order of these ones more the melancholy, more poetic, more the prose, the feeling. There was something I read here. It was what was it? Anyway, he was a poet. So anyway, I prefer this edition over now I would recommend both of them, because this is a complete edition. Even though the translation, I prefer this one as far as the sequence of selections and the overall mood and feeling as you read through them. But they're both, I read both of them together. So I just been reading that this morning, writing in my diary. I'm on page 615 for the year 2020. Last night, I had to go down the lower level to sleep. We had Josie Joy over, so all the girls were here, of course little Jack. And I and Beth and Andy went downtown Holland to have a night by themselves. It's their wedding anniversary. They've been married 10, 11 years. So I was downstairs. And the kids go to bed early, about 8 o'clock they were all in bed. So I went downstairs and I read. First, I've been reading these books, and I've shown them. The Club, Johnson, Boswell, and the Friends Who Shaped an Age by Leo Damrosch. So I've been reading this. And I've been reading Boswell's Presumptuous Task, The Making of the Life of Dr. Johnson. As you know, there in book 2, Some people are going to be reading James Boswell's famous biography on the British writer, moralist, Samuel Johnson in July. And I'm not sure if I will, but because I've been reading about Samuel Johnson for many years. Last night when I was down the lower level, I got out my books on Samuel Johnson, and of course I don't have them here on the dining room table. But anyway, when I was reading the club, it's a literary club that Samuel Johnson, James Boswell, different men like Edmund Burke, the great actor, David Garrick, all these different men, who were writers and politicians, and they were painters and from all different backgrounds, and there was this club that they would meet, like a coffee house, and they would sit around and they would discuss all kinds of different things, but you had to be voted to become a member. Not just anybody could become a member, and the members would vote about who could be in this club, because they wanted people who were interesting and people who could talk, and because conversation and talk was an art, it was an intellectual exercise in those days. But one of the people, the men in that club, was Oliver Goldsmith, who was a writer. He wrote, he's famous for, I can't remember the book now. Anyway, I bought this biography in Oliver Goldsmith a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. The Brothers of the Quill, Oliver Goldsmith in Grub Street by Norma Clarke. So I was reading this section last night on the club and what life was like there in London, the time of Samuel Johnson and James Boswell, and so I was reading that last night, and I got it back out to read some more of it. And I already got halfway through it, so I haven't read all of it, but it's one of my favorite books from, this came out in, what year did this come out? 2016. I highly recommend this book. It's one of my favorite books the last couple of years. The Brothers of the Quill, Oliver Goldsmith in Grub Street by Norma Clarke. So I was reading this last night, reading it today, Making of the Life of Dr. Johnson, Boswell's Presumptuous Task by Adam Sisman, reading The Club by Leo Damrosch, and I've been reading the Book of Disquiet in these both editions, writing in my diary, and just enjoying time with our family as they've been visiting. We have our daughter Bethany and her husband Andy and our 3 grandchildren. Bethany is pregnant with her fourth little girl, Norma Jean, and Hannah and Josiah. Josiah's our middle child, and he's here with his wife and his little daughter Marika. And of course, our oldest son Caleb and his wife Emily, and our 2 granddaughters Josie and Cora live down the street. And I have Ollie here with me, our son's dog, our oldest son's dog. He's here getting a time of chill. So that's it. I don't know if I'll get anything in the mail this week. I do have used books coming in the mail. I do have some CDs and things like that. But so this is what I've been reading. I haven't been really reading my Christian books because in the morning when I get up, the kids are running around and they're playing and they're watching kid shows and they're eating food and there's coffee and there's talk and I can't read unless it's something serious, so I have to concentrate and focus on. So I don't do that in the mornings. I just read my Bible. I was thinking before I came to make a video, I was thinking of those verses in chapter 8 of Romans. Has been on my mind since yesterday. And it says in Romans chapter 8 about the Christian life There is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God did by sending his own Son in likeness of sinful flesh. On account of sin, he condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to this flesh, but according to the Spirit. For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then, those who are in the flesh cannot please God. So I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a good new reading week. This is a Monday Reads. I don't know when I'll be able to download this because it's been pretty crazy around here. But I just thought I'd stop by and tell you thank you for the comments. The other night, when everybody went to bed, I checked my comments and I was surprised how many comments I had that I had not responded to. And I'm very sorry for that. I really appreciate all the comments. And I don't know how I missed so many of you guys, but I'm sorry. I don't mean to neglect or slight you. I appreciate all comments. I thank you for all my subscribers. And I'm really thankful that you do comment and share your thoughts with me. And I do pray that you are having a good week, that you're not sick during this COVID-19 epidemic, which is killing thousands and thousands. I read the other day that 600 people a day are dying. And it's and plus there's so much chaos and unrest and unruliness and rebellion and revolution going on in America. And but I just pray that you're all safe and well, and that you have a good week, a good reading week, and till next time, bye.